Welcome in, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. How's it going, gentlemen?
Good. I got a topic today for you guys. I didn't even want to talk about it all offline. I figured we'd just all talk about it here, all live on the air.
All right.
I was watching something last night, talking about SMU. And when I was a kid, I loved SMU. Like, that was my college team. Everybody else had their teams. I had SMU. Now, I'm talking when I'm like 9, 10 years old. Didn't care that it was in Dallas. You know what I mean? I hated the Cowboys. That was already ingrained in me and stuff like that. But SMU was like the college that I remember and wanted to like win all the time. And I was also a very big fan of Jerry Tarkanian and the UNLV college basketball team. Those two teams were my two favorite college teams growing up.
Okay.
And the NCAA screwed them both. And because of that, I don't like college sports anymore. Completely stopped liking college sports. When they took away SMU, I stopped watching college football in general.
Okay.
When they took away UNLV, you know, when they like crushed that program, I stopped watching mostly college basketball. You know, because I was a huge fan of both of those teams. Both of those teams is now were no longer available. Now SMU is starting to come back up now. It took them a long time because when you get the kiss of death from the NCAA back then, it was a real thing. Same thing with UNLV. It was they both got the kiss of death because they were doing stuff that may have been considered illegal back then and all this other stuff. But it made me want to ask you guys, is there been a team or a sport or a franchise or of anything of sports nature that something happened that created a disdain for the... Were you able to get that?
Sorry, I don't know if that was your end or my end, but I missed part of the question there.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, okay. So all of our signal sucks today. That's awesome.
Yeah, mine is not doing worth a damn today, apparently. I'll tell you what I get a disdain for: internet. And all providers there are. But anyway, I'm sorry, Pags. We only got bits and pieces.
Oh my lord! Yeah, it's glitching everywhere today. Is that what we're getting at? It's just going to be a glitch day.
Yep. All right. So re-ask your question because we only got pieces of it.
Yeah. So my question is that has there ever been? Is there something that has happened in any sport, for any team, any franchise, that there's that moment in time that has created a disdain for that sport or the whole, like that team or what have you? Like, what has been the moment in time caused you to, like, I don't watch college sports anymore because they took away my two favorite teams.
Sure.
And yeah, I want to know if you guys have had that moment.
Absolutely. Soon as the Sonics loaded into, U-Hauls and headed to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. As soon as the Sonics went, it was like, yeah, I don't really mess with the NBA. I'll watch playoff basketball, but regular season, like, I'm good.
Yeah, I think for me it was, and again, I am a Cowboys fan, but my family is an Oilers fan, and I do like the Oilers. They would have been my second team, right? Just because I love the city of Houston. But when Bud Adams took the Oilers and took the freaking name with him, That pissed me off. That was the first thing that was my first disdain moment with the NFL. I felt like the Houston should have been allowed to keep the name. My second one was during 08 when the Comets disbanded. I really found out that they disbanded because during that recession, nobody would buy the Comets. When Fertitta put it up for sale, nobody would take it on. Now, this wasn't anybody's fault. It's just economics, but it sucks. But really, more or less the Oilers for me.
Yeah, I mean, were you really watching that WNBA team though?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, when the WNBA first came out, I mean, the comments were amazing, and yeah, I was following them. I follow all Houston sports. I follow everything Houston, with the exception of, I mean, obviously I follow Dallas and everything else, and I follow the Longhorns. But everything, I'm pretty much Houston. Yeah, I follow all that stuff, and that's why it makes me so mad. It's like, we were the first one to be a dynasty, like a true dynasty, right? And then I think there's a couple of the teams out there I think now have 4 championships. But for the first 4 years of the WNBA, it was all Houston, so we were all energized. Everything was going great, even when we weren't. And then after that, we weren't winning. We were still doing competitive basketball, and then they up and sell the damn team. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think this isn't a Comcast thing, actually. I think this is a StreamYard situation.
That's entirely possible. For all three of us to have kind of inconsistent signal here, because we all have different.
I'm going to call StreamYard and tell them that Philly Sports Guy is affiliated with Comcast, and we want this fixed now.
Well, I'm not affiliated yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
just in negotiations. So.
Yeah. That being
Relax.
said, if you become associated, could you?
So I'm not allowed to name drop. Okay.
The moment I come associated, I'd be like, hey, listen, guys, got to make sure that the internet works for my podcast.
Right. There are 3 locations that the signal just has to be functional.
Is it so hard? Or at least give us a refund. Just give a partial refund. I feel like we deserve it.
I just give it to us for free.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I was thinking. If we could just get some free internet, I would complain about it less. Be like, you know what?
You know what?
I'm paying the right amount for it.
But yeah, I remember just growing up, and like I said, so obviously they didn't show SMU a lot. Like, you'd get to watch it on ABC and stuff like that. So I didn't get to watch the games very much, but I was always paying attention in the newspapers. Like, SMU was my team. You know what I mean? And they were a great team. I don't care how they were getting those players. In this day and age, imagine SMU back then playing in this college. They would be the perennials that would come up and actually win, going up against Alabamas and, Ohio States and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were really putting the mark on college sports. And they got the kiss of death because they were doing it that way, because they were winning at that type of click. It's a shame. It's a shame because it was they really were a great team, and they had some great players come out of there.
Right.
But gone. And the same thing with Jerry Tarkanian. I mean, I thought he was an amazing coach. I love the fact that he would suck on a towel, the entire game, because that's like, it was weird because obviously nobody else did that, but he would literally, like, he had a wet towel, and that's how he'd bite on the towel and stuff like that. Like, that's how he would get, like, water or whatever. I don't know.
Actually, that sounds like a really good stress relief thing too to do. But he probably used the towel so he wouldn't break his teeth or fracture his teeth. And maybe there was probably some precipitation uses as well. But I would see that as a good stress relief, especially in sports.
So, and that's why I'm asking, like, what was, like, the Sonics leaving made you hate basketball? And you haven't followed, not hate it, but just not follow it ever again.
Yeah, it made it so that I had for your word, a disdain for the NBA, because they allowed it to happen in a way that when it was being sold, right? A lot of people blame Howard Schultz, but the thing is when he sold the team, the understanding was they weren't going to leave. And then as soon as the deal went through, they're like, we're out. And the NBA fast-tracked it so they could. So people blame Schultz because he was involved in it. He was the previous owner. But when it was leading up to it, everything pointed to they were going to stay. And then they were just like, oh, we're out of here. And it's like, oh, I mean, what the hell? And I mean, the Seahawks had something similar happen to them. It ended up getting blocked by the NFL owners. But Clay Bennett, he briefly owned the team and moved all of the gear and everything down to LA in the middle of the night. And the league ended up making them move all that stuff back up here, and then forced him to sell the team, which, kind of an interesting way that deal came together. But yeah, I mean, they tried to do something similar to the Seahawks at one time as well.
What's going on in Seattle? Because I know, obviously, like you said, Seattle was fast-tracked and they got rid of them. And then the Mariners obviously got rescued by Nintendo to keep the team there. And then, and then, like you said, the Seahawks were rescued as well by NFL. What's going on in Seattle that makes these teams not want to stay there? Because it seems to me like that's a pretty big city. It seems like you guys support the 12th man, in Seattle. It seems like y'all support the teams. Why are they always trying to leave? I don't get that.
Yeah, so it has to do with it has nothing to do with the fan base, because
right,
people here show up, but it has to do with the new owners are looking at larger markets, right? I mean, at the end of the day, Seattle, the metro area, right? Not even just the city of Seattle, but if you include the metro area, we're like 3.4 million people. That's not exactly an enormous city, right? So when you're looking at, I could move to LA, or not to say that Oklahoma City is a huge city either, but I believe that's where he was from, right? So he was just taking a team home essentially. But when teams have been scheduled to move, or at least tried to make them move, they were trying to move them into bigger markets. So they were owners that were like, hey, we want to chase a bigger payday now that I've bought this team.
Not only that, but the other thing about Seattle is that they are very, very, very blue, and they are very, very against public funds for any of their sports teams. And they don't get any breaks in terms of taxes. I'm sure they do now.
I was going to say, they definitely do. They definitely do get a lot of.
It's harder to get those breaks in Seattle than it is in other locations.
Well, and everything's more expensive. Right? Like having the lease on facilities here in Seattle versus, say, Oklahoma City is wildly different. So I would bet their stadium there is far less month to month than in the heart of Seattle.
This is really kind of retarded, but I don't like to use that word, but I'm going to use that word in this specific.
I wasn't even going to put it up.
Yeah, that's I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I apologize. That really kind of irked me a little bit but no, I'm going to let that go. You're right. I should let it go. Be the bigger person.
Yeah, there's plenty of things that go on in the comments section that I don't bring onto the show.
I apologize, bro. I didn't mean to. I thought out loud.
I didn't think it was a big deal that they're talking about John Thompson having a towel over his shoulder. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Everybody uses a towel on occasion.
What are those towels? Just white. Is that bleacher using? Yeah. What the hell?
So, anyways.
No, I would say this though. Another thing I disdain, and not so much has to do with teams, but just, if and we all grew up in the 80s and 90s and so forth. Some of us even grew up in the 70s. But, with basketball, I'm going to use that as just as an example. I mean, you can make the same case for football and baseball as well. But I really liked the way the game of basketball was played back in the day. I liked the way the fouls were called. I liked the way, things were done. I liked the way the all-star games were, all that stuff. I don't like the transition that basketball has gone into now. I still watch basketball, but I don't watch it nearly as much. And I don't have the same feeling or excitement watching it like I did back in those earlier generations when you didn't have the ticky-tack fouls. There was still a mid-level jumper. There was still a low post. All of those skill sets. That's the disdain I have for it. And I still watch NBA, but I don't have the same fondness for it as I used to back in those generations or decades.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're looking at the evolution of the game, seeing the way fouls are called, like you kick your leg out to get a foul and stuff like that. Like, that's annoying. The way people flop is annoying. The lack of physicality, I think, is some of that. But so it does make it harder to watch. It follows more of that soccer line for me, and everybody knows I'm not a soccer fan. And so it also, even if we still had our team, those types of things would have made me not like the sport as much, because I liked it when it was more physical and, not everything was a foul. It's probably one of the reasons why I do enjoy the WNBA is they let them go and battle it out. Now, do they need to call it a little bit better than they do? Sure, because you see some stuff that doesn't get called and you're just like, I mean, I could see that from outside the stadium. Like, I don't know how you missed it right in front of you, but at the same time, I wouldn't want it to go the other direction so far that now you have LeBron laying on the ground, peeking under his hand to see if he got the foul. Like, I don't want to see any of that. That stuff is terrible.
I mean, he could have did it, but I do remember that. And he could have did a better acting job to sell it than this little number. I mean, just wait for whistles. I don't know.
I mean, you're already laying on the ground. You've sold it as far as you can sell it. Just get up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah.
It's the way that these kids are growing up these days that causes all these problems.
We're turning it into these damn whippersnappers.
Hey, listen, I remember back in the day when I was in school, and if you acted up, you got a paddling. Nowadays, you just get a timeout or a little bit of ISS.
I don't even think you get timeouts and stuff anymore. Like, the paddling thing that went away a long time ago because, jail. But, now it's you're in trouble, but if that's okay with you, it's like, no, like that doesn't work. That's why we end up with scenarios like we have.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'll tell you what, though, with all those, and this is serious talk, with all the school shootings that have gone on, and there's so many school shootings now, it's almost commonplace, but we didn't have that mess back in the paddling days. Man, we didn't have that mess back in the paddling days, but you got it now.
I mean, the U.S.
I never went to a school where they paddled me, so.
Yeah, me either.
Oh, I did. I think I let an F-bomb go one time by accident. I let an F-bomb go one, and I was in the principal's office, and there was about 4 or 5 really good, strong licks. And I never did it again. I will tell you that. One time, I've only been paddled once in my life. That was the only time, but it was enough. It was in 5th grade, and
Catholic
never
school.
again. Oh, public. Oh, Jay only goes to public.
Oh, man,
that's even weirder.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually.
Oh no! Mr. Norman didn't play around. He
why
always were quiet.
Why do I have this feeling this was a special J rule, and that didn't actually happen to any other students in that school?
I tell you one time I did. Now, Mr. Norman was the assistant principal. Dr. Cobb, now he was the main principal. Now, I did go in his office one time, and he had a really interesting office. It was dark. couple little lamps, 2 little lamps on, and he was a very by the book type of guy, and he put the fear in you. He put the fear.
Just so I'm painting this picture right in my head. So you,
I want to hear your painted picture because I got one myself.
I'm just going
candlelight in the office.
I mean, what sort of red room do we got going on here?
I don't know. The man just liked the dark, and I don't know, but I was scared crapless. I'll tell you, I was scared. And and I don't even remember what it was. I mean, I'm going back probably 40 some odd years, but I'm pretty sure it was something. I've only been in the prison office twice in my whole life in total. Once we got the paddling, once was with Dr. Cobb, and both instances I never did anything ever again. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, it was a very interesting situation.
Did you have your own room on Epstein's Island, or what happened here?
Well, Pags would know.
Man.
Why would I know? I have nothing to do with Epstein.
No, I'm just playing. Did you? I can't. I'm sorry. Since we're talking about crazy, what was up with the sex toy? Why are they throwing? I mean, what's going on with that?
Oh, the dildo, the purple dildo.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It was hilarious, is what it was. But
it is hilarious.
And
even the girls were kind of laughing about it.
Yeah, like everybody was laughing about it. Like they were trying to feign outrage, but when you like scanned around, everybody was like, "Oh."
What I want to know is, what kind of charges did this guy get? Because he got charged. They took him to jail.
Did they?
Was it just like a misdemeanor, whatever?
I didn't realize anybody actually got in trouble for that.
Oh, yeah, no, they arrested him. And this one wasn't purple. This one was green.
It was green, yeah.
But they charged him and arrested him.
That's amazing, because I would love to see the write-up on that for, some sort of, public something for dildoing of a court like that.
No, so it actually would probably be, I'll be honest, it's probably a misdemeanor, and it's probably like a 4th degree attempted assault.
Yeah, probably right.
Because you have to. He's throwing a projectile at people, and it's like it's an attempted assault is really what that comes out to. With the pornographic object, he could also do pornographic material, in a public space type thing and stuff like that. Like there's a number of depending on the law of the area that he's in, there's a few things that they could probably charge him with. Along with like disruption of the game itself, like that's like the same thing as streaking type of situation. So there's probably like 3 or 4 charges they could hit him with, all like 4th degree misdemeanors.
So what are we talking about? Like fines, basically? He just had to pay fines for those misdemeanors?
Yeah, maybe getting banned.
Service.
Fines.
Yeah, banned.
Yeah. I'm sure he's banned from the stadium. Yeah.
So, but
I just know that on the write-up they have to reference it, and that's the section that I want to read.
Yeah, like what is the technical term for that? I mean, we call it.
It'll be in the it'll be in the brackets like of what they threw, right? Because they have to be
female pleasure device or male pleasure device, just depending.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that part of the police report will be funny to read.
Oh my gosh. Is it funny to read, or is it funny to type, or both?
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they were laughing as they were writing it up.
Here it is. It's justice has been served to at least one person who hurled a dildo onto the court during a WNBA game. The WNBA said on Saturday that the fan who threw a neon green dildo onto the court during a game between the Atlanta Dream and Golden State Valkyries on July 29th has been arrested. Anyone else caught throwing objects onto the court, the league said, will be ejected from the arena and face a minimum 1-year ban. The safety and well-being of everyone in our arenas is a top priority in our league. Objects of any kind thrown onto the court or in the seating area can pose a safety risk for players, game officials, and fans. In line with WNBA arena security standards, any fan who intentionally throws an object onto the court will be immediately ejected and face a minimum 1-year ban, in addition to being subject to arrest and prosecution by local authorities.
I mean, you can't really say that he wasn't there to try and help the fan experience. I mean, he's delivering a pleasure device.
And let's be honest, maybe he's trying to increase viewership for the WNBA and get it noticed a little bit better.
They're saying, so here's Elizabeth Williams said, it's super disrespectful. I don't really get the point of it. It's really immature. Whoever's doing it needs to grow up.
I mean, all of that's true.
Cunningham wrote on Friday, stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us.
Nobody wants to roll your ankle on one of those. Man.
Oh, man.
Flinging green sex toys has become an epidemic at WNBA games, and now the police have to get involved.
An epidemic? There's more than one.
I was about to say, there's more than one?
There's two.
There's been two. Okay. All right. I thought it was just the one.
Dude,
but I mean,
there's been a run on green dildos now.
God. I don't know, but there's 2 times really make an epidemic or just
so you
weird
think
occurrence.
Hey, they had
you think the manufacturer sent one of their sales guys like, hey, throw this on, we're going to get some more sales?
Maybe. That's a possibility. I mean, I think about that. It's just like, like stuff like that will go viral and all that fun stuff. But
you know what? I just had an epiphany. What if we took one of those and put Coast to Coast logo on it? Chunked it out. I'm just saying. I don't know.
So do that when Houston comes back in and has a female team. You go ahead and do that. We back you 100%.
Hey, as long as you give me the money to pay my fines, whatever. I'm retired. It doesn't matter.
That check is on the way already.
I'm sure it is, Pags. Unfortunately, I have a good check. I need Venmo or Cash App.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
They did have a line on whether a sex object would get thrown onto the court. There was like a plus 100. It was like even money on whether an object was one of the places had it.
It's wild. That's even money because that is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, how do you really and if it misses the court, he threw it, but it only made it to the 3rd row.
See, it's when they zoom in because one of the cameras will catch it. And somebody's just taking it to the side of the face.
Oh, I got dildoed.
Man, that's terrible.
That is bad. That is bad. But you know what? Only can you get that type of sports coverage here on Coast to Coast. Nobody covers the WNBA dildo scandal.
By the way, if you're a dildo manufacturer, we will totally take you on as a sponsor.
And do not think that just because I'm wearing a green shirt that I am for the throwing of dildos.
And if you believe Pags, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that's right. That being said, it was still a better throw than what we've seen out of Caleb Williams. Now,
that was rough. That was hard.
His bumpy spring so far, preseason action so far. He had to throw into a net from 10 yards. Right? They have the 3 little baskets in the net. His first 2 don't land. And the 3rd one doesn't even hit the assembly. So the video actually ended up getting taken down from the Bears. And
Wow.
very interesting. Very interesting. He is not playing well. Curious if Bajent gets a real shot.
I hope so. I hope so.
And how bad is Caleb Williams going to look after all the things he was saying about how good he was going to be, this, that, and the other, and all the hype, and then it just comes out that he doesn't do anything.
I don't know. Hey, Joe, though, I tell you, that would be funny, especially if there was the wings that actually came out, like in the ring. Like, there you go. Like, wings come out, and you hit Jerry with that, with the green dildo, and wings that came out. That'd be awesome. I'm all for it, Joe. Yeah. Your check is in the mail on getting out of jail.
Yeah.
You go to Oxford
and I wouldn't even be upset,
or wherever the hell they're practicing and throw one at Jerry. That'd be funny. Have him, Jerry gets dildoed in the face with an Eagles green friggin' dildo. That'd be hysterical.
I wouldn't even be mad at you because honestly, I can't stand Jerry. If somebody wanted to do that, I would applaud it. I'd be
Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Have Micah Parsons send him like 6 of them so he can make sure he does. Well, no, I guess you'd only need to send him one. If Caleb was throwing it, we'd have to throw him 6, give him 6.
Yeah.
Another in the NFL, we got Teddy Bridgewater coming back to the NFL. After his suspension at the high school level, it looks like he might get a shot down in Tampa Bay. Well, so he get a backup role down with the Bucs.
Yeah,
I was curious if he was going to come back since that high school suspension is a thing.
What? I'm sorry. I knew he got suspended, but what exactly was he suspended for? What did he do?
So he was using some of his own money, and there's some rules against doing that, right? So he was using some of his own money to make the facilities better, and he was giving Uber rides to some of the kids, and that goes against policies similar to if you were giving the kids money, right? And so it essentially is like giving them an unfair advantage, even though it was just like basic things that he was providing. There's just specific rules against it. And so he got a suspension. And so coming back to the NFL for another stint as a backup.
That's weird to me, though, because, now the NIL is actually going down into high school and paying these kids. So was that done before that happened?
No, the thing is that's coming from a different angle. The kids can still secure their own NIL. It can't come from.
Oh, I just can't be a school employee. Okay, yeah. I got it.
So if he was just doing that outside of it, like he wasn't part of the organization, it would be fine. Right. But because he was a coach, can't do it.
Okay, gotcha.
Should have had his girlfriend do it.
Right.
This is the Bambi, Yeah,
I mean that's where you just have like I'm sure he owns other businesses, right? Could have been sponsored by a car dealership he owns or whatever, right? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
he would think that if he really wanted to do that, there would be ways around that. Obviously,
I mean, I don't think he was thinking about it. I think he was looking at it as I'm giving these guys a ride, or I got them some food. Like, I don't think he was thinking about it as I'm somehow making everything, I'm paying these kids or something. But that's the way that high school sports looked at it, and so that's how he got the suspension.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure it was another school.
Oh, of course.
Who called up and said, "Hey, he can't do this."
Of course,
because
I guess that'd be a competitive advantage. I guess is why they don't want you doing those kinds of things. I'm assuming
exactly what they claimed it to be.
Yeah,
but again, it's pretty dumb. What's up, Chad?
Come on, Chad.
But yeah, so weird situation, but that brings him back to the NFL. I mean, he'll be fine, right? Like he's a serviceable backup. He doesn't have to travel far for Tampa. So
no, not far at all. Wow.
What's going on in Miami? Like I hear Miami's a mess.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, first off, they had Tyreek Hill talking about the stress, like stressing about how it's important that we need to stretch and do all this stuff. And of course, he didn't show up for those.
Tyreek is just a problem. Like,
what's going on with wide receivers lately? Wide receivers seem to be doing weird stuff, just in general at that position. Tyreek's obviously doing really weird stuff down in Miami. Then he had Antonio Brown doing weird stuff before he was ultimately kicked out. It seems like these wide receivers are just.
I mean, that's a bit of a time gap, if that's the parallel.
It is a time gap. I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I don't know.
I mean, it's a diva position. There's always weird stuff from that.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure how quickly you could download that video that I just sent in the text. But if you can, that would be hysterical to show. I know everybody's like not sure what it is, but it is a piss.
I didn't get that text message.
I might have sent it to the wrong coast to coast.
It's all right. Long as Bo got it.
Yeah.
Senior Citizens Day.
You got to look at it. You got to send that up there.
Oh,
if the first time you actually watch it is on the screen, that's hysterical. If you have TikTok on your computer.
I don't, but.
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
I was going to say, if you can share the screen, we'll put it up.
All right, let me see if I can make that happen.
Because, we won't have enough time for me to screen record and download and all that.
All right.
While you're doing that, we have
and
Shedeur
that's if
Sanders.
StreamYard's going to cooperate today.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't hold my breath on that one either. But so while you're doing that, Shedeur Sanders going to get a real shot because now Dylan Gabriel's hurt. So Pickett and Gabriel both with hamstring injuries, and the Browns, have it slated that Shedeur will get most of the preseason game reps, but they also went and signed Tyler Huntley. So they're adding yet another quarterback to this room. Bizarre.
That is crazy.
The Browns just doing Brown stuff.
Man, they got enough quarterbacks to supply 2 teams. Hell, maybe even 3.
Yeah. I mean,
if you put Watson in on it.
Yeah, at this point they have 6 quarterbacks. So crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yep. Yeah, Cleveland's a mess. Man, this is just super glitchy today.
Yeah, it is. No, I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll still work tomorrow. So
it'll be just as funny tomorrow.
Exactly. So I'll work on that a little bit later. See if we can share it. So I had some videos that that I was going to put up, but with as glitchy as this is, I'm not even messing with it today. I have a feeling it would just break StreamYard.
Yeah.
So Gabriel has a hamstring injury, just like Pickett does, and so they go and grab Huntley. Shedeur is, in theory, going to get the bulk of the reps during the preseason, and we'll get to learn a lot about it. It's either going to be It's either going to be awesome for him, or it's going to show why people passed on him. Right.
And it's good that he didn't make any controversies while this was all going on, because now, if he slides in and balls out and actually gets that job, it just, for his reputation, it makes him look so much better, because he wasn't trying to be a diva about the situation, and he actually went in and executed and did what he did. So I think from a professional standpoint, that could really be a huge thing for him if he's able to ball out and really show him what he can do.
Well, no, I mean, like I've said that multiple times, that he has been the pro since he got there. Yeah, he got a couple of speeding tickets, which who cares? But he's just gone in and worked, hasn't made a lot of noise, right? He's just in there taking the reps that he can. So, yeah, I mean, you can't really be mad at his time with Cleveland.
Right. No, not at all. Not at all. Wow. Okay.
But
well, you think now that he's going to be getting those extra reps now with the first team, maybe he'll tell his pops, hey, now if you want to come out and watch me at training camp, bring my guest. I'll be playing enough.
Yeah, I still don't think he wants him to show up. I'm pretty sure he wants to maybe get some of those reps under his belt before he, has his dad come and be a distraction.
Yeah, I could get that as well. I get that.
Because, I mean, no matter how much of it is his dad just wants to come see his kid play, which I'm sure is what it is, it's Dion. And so there's just a lot of noise that's going to follow him, whether they want it or not. Right? And, even Shedeur said, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, this is my dad. But at the same time, this is my dad. So.
Yeah, because your dad's not the normal dad.
Yeah. If it was anybody else's parents that came out, nobody'd think twice about it. But when it's Dion, there's just noise that follows it.
And truthfully, that if he did go there, that distraction could take away from Shedeur's ability to concentrate on what he needs to do to show what he has. So,
of course, which is why you wouldn't want to do it, especially as you finally get some of those first team reps. It was one of the things I found really funny. There was a graphic that popped up, and it was showing the accuracy and the touchdowns and interception rate and all that, right? And it showed Shedeur having the highest percentage out of, the four quarterbacks. The fun little piece of information that they decided not to include is the level of competition that each one of those quarterbacks was facing. So you're looking at, Flacco and Gabriel, and they're going against the number ones, right? And then when you look at Shedeur, he's getting those reps against, team three, team four. It's just like, yeah, I mean, you should be better than those guys. You were slated as a potential first round pick. If you were inaccurate and getting picked against guys that are going to be working at Target, you're probably not making this team, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But no, it'll be interesting to see how he does against the first teamers. And then, once he gets some live action, like, I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, I ain't interested.
I am just because of the hype train.
All go away. I think it should all just go away.
Well, and it might, like, that could make it go away. Like, if he goes and plays and he doesn't look good, the story starts to fall away, because then it's like, yeah, turns out he was a 5th round pick, right? But if he goes in and balls out, then they're like, oh, he was undervalued. And then that makes the Browns even more chaos, right? Because now what do you do with the guys that are on your roster? So in a way, I hope that for the Browns, because it's funny.
Gives us more content, you know what I mean? We have more to talk about.
I mean, mostly it would just make me laugh a lot, because then it's like, oh, you guys actually have less answers at quarterback now because he looked good, but you don't want to get rid of the 2 guys that you spent actual draft picks on. Just going to go into the season with 6 quarterbacks. It'll be fine.
Looks like I was reading. It looks like the Cubs' new starter Soroka is going to be on the IL with his shoulder. This seems like these pitchers are having a hard time this year staying healthy.
Yeah, but listen, I'm just happy the fact that yesterday there was a barrage of home runs, which makes the game a lot more fun when that happens. 6 home runs in a game is great.
Schwarber had what? How many did Schwarber have? Was it 2 or 3?
2, 1 being a
2.
grand slam.
Right.
Okay.
That's what it was. Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
Schwarber's a good one for
I
you
think
guys.
it's the second in like the last week and a half. I think his last 2 at bats with the bases loaded have ended in a grand slam. I like that.
I mean, and I think he's at 40 now, I think, on the year, correct?
Yeah, he was at 38 and then 2 yesterday with 40. He's now leading in RBIs. Yeah, because he was tied at, I want to say 88 RBIs, and then he got 6 yesterday. So, I mean, he's been, he's been turning it on lately. So I like that.
Well, this is August. So
yeah, you need the energy. You need to get these guys energized and get them starting on the upward trend. However, I don't want them to peak too early.
Yeah.
That's where my fear of this comes from, starting this early in August. But, sometimes you start coming on strong and next thing you know, you're like, you can do it for 2-3 months is perfect. So we'll see. We will see. But 8 runs scored with 2 outs yesterday against the Orioles.
Crazy. Should have bet on the grand slam. Nice.
You see the Packers wide receiver Hobbs is out for the rest of camp with an injury. And it seems like the Packers have had a hard time on that receiving core keeping those guys healthy. And I wonder how that's going to affect them this year. They're going to have to battle more injuries this year.
I mean, injuries this early, I don't mind because you'll get through them and be ready for the season. I mean, obviously, if it's a season-ending injury, that's different. But like when it's guys are banged up or you have soft tissue injuries, things like that, I'd rather see that now.
Right.
Because that gives you that, 4 weeks or so to be able to get back for the games, as opposed to seeing him week 1 where you're missing the first quarter of the season.
Yeah. I realize that Amari Cooper is still a free agent. Like, he's not with the team. Yep. He's early 30s. Do you think he lands with the team before the start of the season, or do you think he is not going to land with the team?
I think someone picks him up. I mean, as cheap as he would be at this point, I don't know. I actually don't know why he's not on a roster. Like, there's plenty of teams that could use a possession guy. So it is interesting that he's not on a team because he played well. It's not like he looked terrible last year. So I do find it curious that somebody hasn't picked him up, but he'll be on a roster this year.
And I think the reason why is his own reason, because he don't want to go to camp. Veterans don't want to go to camp.
Yeah.
So I kind of think it's more that reason than anything else. Just my
opinion.
You think that Omar would want to sign after
he
camp?
Probably is.
So they again?
Yeah, probably preseason, halfway through preseason, something like that. And he'll probably go to a team he was on before, because then he doesn't need to go to camp. He already knows what's going on.
Like the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, we ain't bringing that dude back. We already got plenty. I don't know. God, if that happened, I would really be amazed.
Why?
In a bad way, because I'm like, why would you bring Amari here when you're still trying to get freaking Micah under contract? And that's
but you would get him cheap enough.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a wildly different price point. And besides, that gives you a slot guy. Like, you already have your outside guys. Now you'd have a really good slot guy because he can be highly effective in the slot.
I'm not 100% sure where Dallas's cap is, but I think it's got to be close. I mean, I guess maybe if you're right, if he is cheap enough, maybe they could squeeze him under the cap.
I mean, he'd be almost a league minimum at this point. Not being on a roster, you can't be that picky.
Yeah, $1 million a year. I know that they have $1 million. You know, I mean, they could give him $1 million with lots of incentives. Like that's an incentive-based contract. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's like, hey, you're gonna do this. That actually, as funny as that sounds right up the Eagles' alley.
Yep.
The 1 year, hey, you get to show me something contract. You want to come on this team for a year, and we'll see if you fit the bill, blah, blah, blah. You know, here is $787,000. And if you catch like 40 balls, we'll give you an extra 500,000. And if you get over 500 yards or 600 yards, we'll give you an extra 500,000 type thing. Like it's
if
that's
you get
where
10
I think.
touchdowns, we'll give you $1 million. Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, that's probably what it would be, is super, incentive laden. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I think he would actually do well in that offense, because there's going to be so much
else now it's so I get a little bit nervous because of the whole thought process of like a dream team type situation, but he doesn't really fall into that category. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, he's available. We could use somebody. I'm sure somebody's going to wind up getting hurt and whatever. Is he a cancer? That's the other question mark there.
Like, I've never heard that about him.
Well, I know that he talked about it. I know that he talked about his quarterback in Cleveland back when, he said straight out, he oiled up his booty hole. How do you follow somebody in the battle that does that?
Where was the lie there, though? I mean, I can't, obviously he shouldn't have said that on the national stage, but at the same time,
I got to agree.
I get
it. I guess you follow him into battle with the green dildo. I don't know.
It's and interestingly enough, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go back to Cleveland. That would be another spot for him. And because now that whole situation is done, I can imagine Cleveland does that. The only other team that I can think of that has a tremendous amount of money under the cap is the Raiders. The Raiders have like $100 million worth of cap space.
Yeah, the Raiders could do something. I still don't know why the Steelers haven't done it. Like, they could use that possession guy, because DK isn't the guy, right? Like, he does what he does well, but possession catches is not what he does. And if you want to have, I mean, obviously the Steelers have tight ends, whatever, but getting Rodgers another guy that is a guy that runs good routes and is where he's supposed to be is probably a good idea. And the fact that they're just not doing that is weird, but also probably going to be funny.
And you would think that they only have probably Rodgers maybe 1 year, maybe two, if he decides to come back one more.
He already said it's one and done.
Okay, so if this is his one and done, it seems like you'd want to give him the most amount of quality weapons that you could give him to see if that 1 year, is worth it.
Well, especially when you can get him for nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
I got to imagine, like I said, it's probably more of the fact that he doesn't want to go to camp. Nobody wants to go to camp right now. He knows how to run routes. They know what he's about. And as long as he's staying in shape and he's staying kind of close to game shape, that, he'll get an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he'll definitely be on a roster this year. There's no doubt in my mind. Like, someone will get hurt. Like, something's going to happen. He'll be on a roster.
Right.
It would be very surprising with a guy that was still playing at the level he was to just not get a shot.
Right. Yeah, he's not the guy who couldn't stop smoking pot, and now they legalize pot, so it's which is a shame because he was a great receiver. He just couldn't stop smoking pot, and now the pot's legalized. He's out of the league.
Well, I mean, that could be said for Ricky Williams.
Oh gosh, yes.
Like absolute phenomenal talent, but just could not stop smoking. But imagine him in the league today. They're like, yeah, chief up some trees. We don't care, man. Like,
hey, and nowadays you might be able to get a weed endorsement. You never know.
Ricky Williams for sure would have.
I don't know that you can yet. Because it is a federal thing. It's still a federal illegal banned substance.
Yeah.
Right.
You probably cannot. And I'd be willing to bet that the NFL has probably set rules in place for that. Maybe like unspoken rules, but rules nonetheless about that. I can imagine until it becomes, federally legal,
Right.
or just 100% legal. Don't do it.
Well, you can get a zigzag endorsement.
I mean,
it might be the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say
they're not going to have you endorse cigarettes either.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember back in the day when you used to see cigarette commercials and things like that with the Marlboro Man. Yeah, you don't see none of that anymore.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, they used to be the main sponsors of stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you think back to auto racing, it was the Winston Cup for like 50 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff's by the wayside now.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's also why you don't see active players sponsored by FanDuel, DraftKings, stuff like that. It's always after their career's done, stuff like that. I have a feeling the NFL probably plays a role in that as well.
Well,
even though
you're not allowed to. I mean, you saw that. You saw that with New Heights. They would take everything off, and if they were talking about who was going to, you could sponsor the show, but they could not take part in any of the sponsorship. So they would go off air and take off their ears and stuff like that, and do that way.
Yeah.
So,
I think that just falls into the potential damaging the brand kind of thing. Like they got to be very careful with stuff like that. And so I would imagine there's verbiage in all of those contracts that keeps players from having those type of endorsements.
Right.
They say history repeats itself. If we could just repeat back to the 80s or 90s, I think we'd be in pretty good shape.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right. I know that ain't never gonna happen, but it would be nice.
So basically, you just want neon and blow. I got you. It's
and on that note, we're at the end of the show.
We sure are. If you've been watching along with us, thanks for hanging on. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.
Peace.